I know that a lot of you are very interested in learning more about We Kill Monsters, which was officially announced back in the summer. Since then, I've been gathering gameplay clips from Glass Revolver's Discord server, and I think I finally have enough to make a full video. In case you're new here, We Kill Monsters is sort of a survival adventure hunting game that takes place in this massive pit. As we explore its different layers, either in co-op or solo, we'll be killing monsters and angels, all while trying to figure out the mysteries of this place. These are all gifts, so not the most high quality stuff out there. So let's get into the new stuff. I'm going to start with what I think is some of the first glimpses we've gotten of the game's UI. Here the character has 2 fire bombs, a frozen eye, and a regular bomb. Everything here is still a work in progress, by the way, but I do like what I'm seeing so far, especially the glowing arc that pops up to show our throwables trajectory. The item icons themselves are very in line with this game's kind of cryptic vibe, and I feel like everything being very circular and round has to be related to the pit in some way. Now here's something really cool. This is a tool used to deform the environment along monster trails. Broken trees, disturbed ground, just general chaos all around. And it really goes to show that some of these beasts are going to be quite hefty and probably take a good deal of patience and planning to take down. This is Idanu's Great Canopy, or at least its ruins. Idanu is the city that the pit is located in. Originally, this place was going to be a much more lively hub, but now it's mostly abandoned with just a few NPCs scattered about. Here's some moss that has grown over top these suspicious metal scraps, and a beautiful flowing river with some more ruins off in the distance. A very tired character. This is showing off the game's fatigue state, along with a very overloaded backpack full of some strange objects. This is pretty cool. So instead of having fast travel, We Kill Monsters has elevated pathways. These are also a work in progress and their look will change, but I think this idea definitely fits with the game. It's all about slow, methodical traversal, using your surroundings to navigate, and a fast travel system would definitely break up that immersion. And if you're wondering how we got up here, there are some ladders that we can use. This is a look at some monster tracks. It seems like we already got a hit-in on this one, or something bigger than us is hunting the monster too. And here we also have a little look at our inventory and item actions. Some shots featuring little moonlight children, which can actually be commanded and used in combat. Each moonlight child adds a passive ability like spirit arrows or fire arrows. When the player gives the command, a random moonlight child that's following you will sacrifice themselves for whatever their ability is. That's kind of mean, but it does look pretty useful. This is a survival game, so here's us filling a jar up with some precious and hopefully clean water. And of course we can also use these rivers for fishing. I'm a big fan of fishing in games. I know not everyone feels the same way, but it definitely makes sense to have it here and it looks well implemented. This shot is titled Old City, The Pass, so I'm guessing it's an older part of Idanu, and these creatures here are called Ascended Boar, basically little spider guys that explode. And this is one of many alchemists' towers, which hold ancient recipes and also seem like a pretty good lookout point. Now let's get into some combat. Left mouse or right trigger is for melee, and right mouse or right bumper for ranged combat. The dev mentioned that they've always wanted combat to be something like Dragon's Dogma mixed with Monster Hunter, neither of which I have played, but it does seem to work very nicely, and I do always like a mix of ranged and melee, especially being able to switch between both so fluidly. They also mentioned that fighting angels, which are like the bosses in the game, will be less about direct confrontation and will rely more on the use of traps and throwable items. Here's a peek at a telescope we can use to get a better look at our surroundings. And also a very dark cave. You can examine undigested matter to figure out what element or status safely passed through the monster. Gross. And a look at the somewhat terrifying lesser angels of the game. So that brings us into the present day. So far, Glass Revolver hasn't posted anything yet in 2024, but I feel like big things are brewing. If you're curious to learn more about this strange game and the world it's set in, definitely join the Discord server and scroll back a few years, because there are a lot more gifts just like these ones. If you haven't seen my first video about We Kill Monsters, you can check it out here, and I'll see you all when there's some more news on the game.